A Mumbai court is set to pronounce its order on the bail plea filed by the independent MP Navneet Rana and her husband Ravi Rana, who had planned to recite the Hanuman Chalisa outside the residence of the Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. They were later arrested over several sections of the Indian Penal Code, along with sedition charges and allegations of promoting enmity between groups. They have since been in judicial custody. My colleague Saurabh Gupta joins us for more on this. Saurabh, as we wait for that bail plea, what is this essentially about in the last several days in Maharashtra? Is this about municipal elections coming up? Is it about the Babri Masjid? Is it about loudspeakers? Or is it about the Hanuman Chalisa?
Well, if I were to categorize it in three broad categories, yes, definitely the civic body elections, the all-important BMC elections, and the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections, the Hindutva space in Maharashtra politics, and of course the Shiv Sena versus BJP, with the Shiv Sena alleging the BJP putting its proxies to work to destabilize the government to create communal unrest. That's the crux of the matter. Now, Navneet Rana and her husband, MLA Ravi Rana, have been in jail. The court was to pronounce its orders this evening at 5 p.m, but it's now been pushed to the 4th. Tomorrow, of course, it's not happening because it's a public holiday. It's Eid, and that's why, obviously, this is something that has been pushed to the 4th now. So they remain in jail till then. And all important, part of this order is whether the court upholds the sedition charge or not, because that, many have argued, seems to be an overreach.
Saurabh, what about the role of the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena in all of this, the MNS? Some of the strongest statements have been by Raj Thackeray. When they put up loudspeakers, you must put the Hanuman Chalisa at double the volume. But politically, where is the MNS presently aligned?
Well, municipal corporation elections have very thin victory margins or, loss margins. It's sometimes a few hundred votes, sometimes even less than that. Now, what is the BJP's plan? The BJP's plan is to somehow cut the Sena to size for walking out of the alliance. And the Sena, of course, sticks to its Hindutva platform, which the BJP on its own hasn't been able to do. So now it's a two-pronged attack. One is attack the Sena on Hindutva, and then if Raj Thakray's MNS can also cut into some of the Marathi votes, then it's advantage BJP. So officially, there is no alliance, there's no tie-up between the MNS and the BJP. But in civic body elections, if the MNS cuts into some of the Sena votes, if the BJP can cut into some of the Hindutva votes in the Sena, then it could spell trouble for the Sena, and that's exactly what the BJP is hoping for. But the Sena says there's another part to this, which is that by creating communal unrest with these kind of provocative statements, the BJP plans to use it as an excuse to impose president's rule in the state.
All right. Saurabh, thanks very much for joining us. We're also joined now by the Shiv Sena leader, Krishna Hegde, and Alok Vats of the BJP. Mr. Vats, let me come to you first. The shrill tone that we've been seeing in the last couple of days, certainly over the weekend, is this directly linked to making a pitch for the municipal elections?
Do you think so it is for the municipal elections? I don't think so. Because, you see, an independent MLA, if wanted to chant the Hanuman Chalisa and the charges under which they have been booked, sedition, inciting hate, when that thing did not take place, how can you charge with these?
No, that a court will decide on, and I'm sure, sure you can argue, Mr. Vats, that perhaps too much has been made of the allegations against them. But be that as it may, my question is this: why is it that the BJP, the Shiv Sena, and the MNS are all separately making pro-Hindutva statements and reaching out to a certain electorate? Is this because there is a battle for the Hindutva space in Maharashtra politics ahead of these elections?
What is the harm in chanting the Hindutva?
No, I'm not getting into harm or no harm, sir. I'm only asking why it's happening.
It's happening because it is the demand of the day.
Right, and the demand of the day is elections, correct?
Election is not in sight at the moment, but yes, later on the elections are going to be there. But
okay. So you've answered my question, sir. My first question to you was that, is it election related? You are saying yes, it is.
let me tell you one thing.
Yes.
Everything that in India happens gets related to election.
Right.
Everything that happens by any political party.
Right. Right. Okay, let me go across to Mr. Hegde, sir. Would you also accept that all of what is taking place, whether it is the action of the Shiv Sena against these individuals for the Hanuman Chalisa that they plan to recite, which of course they said they wouldn't ultimately do, is it because you are sort of taking on the BJP in this combative Hindutva sort of battle ahead of these elections?
No, I am first of all very happy that the BJP spokesperson has confessed on national television that the motive for all this is to win the election. And I think that itself sets the agenda and what they are doing.
You are wrongly construing the fact.
That
I didn't say that. I didn't mean that.
They are not only trying to set the agenda, but they are also trying to create a law and order problem in the state, and therefore trying to dislodge the Mahavikas Agadi government led by Uddhav Thackeray ji. Let me first tell you that we don't want any lesson on the Hindutva from the BJP. A little bit of history. In 1987, when the Hindutva flank was first fought on, and Shiv Sena fought the elections on Hindutva flank in Vile Parle by-election, the BJP sided with the Janata Party and opposed the Shiv Sena on the Hindutva flank. And later, when Hindutva and Shiv Sena won in Vile Parle and in Mumbai, the BJP came running to us.
No, but Mr. Hegde, the point being mentioned by Devendra Fadnavis is, and I quote, they think they are only Marathis, they think they are only Hindutva. What did they say day before yesterday? They said when the Babri Masjid was brought down, which borough had you gone into? Right? The BJP questioning, the Sena. Where were you during Babri Masjid, 1992?
See, Mr. Fadnavis, Honorable Mr. Fadnavis is speaking after 32 years. And he said that he himself was there at the time he was 19 years old. Possibly he's forgotten the age, he is in now. Secondly, Bala Sahib has been saying for the last 30 years on the Babri issue that he was proud of the Shiv Sainik. And also Sanjay Raut ji has been saying that the BJP leaders were in hiding. It is after 32 years that a BJP leader has come across and said something like this. So I don't know where he's got this new thing from. For 32 years, Fadnavis ji has never said something like this. Thirdly, like I said, after the by-elections in Mumbai in 1987, it was the BJP who wanted to join hands with Shiv Sena, and they came forward. And it was L.K. Advani ji and Pramod Mahajan.
Sure. I'm aware of the history, but Mr. Vats, let me also ask you, there is a third player in this, the MNS, and some of the statements being made by Raj Thackeray are extremely vociferous. In an electoral play, how does that actually help, or is it a disadvantage to the BJP? Are you looking to split the Hindutva vote, perhaps some of the votes which might go the Shiv Sena way?
Let me tell you, Mr. Som, we are nowhere trying to split any votes. And the gentleman from the Shiv Sena has misconstrued my statement that it is all for elections. No. The very fact
exactly what
that MNS has lost ground. So they are like Congress. Anything they get hold of, they try to rescue themselves out of that. Shiv Sena has totally gone berserk on the Hindutva thing. The way they are handling this Rana's case, that itself is showing how Hindutva they are, how much pro-Hindutva they are.
No, but Mr. Vats, when Devendra Fadnavis makes statements saying where was the Shiv Sena during the Babri Masjid demolition, how are you not sort of pushing that agenda as well?
No, they were not there anywhere in the site. And Mr. Fernandez is right.
It's a strange irony that two of the most strident Hindutva parties in the country are accusing each other of not being Hindutva. It seems almost bizarre.
Let me tell you one thing, Mr. Som.
The Shiv Sena is the poster boy of Hindutva.
We are the
and
elder
we are
brother.
proud to be Hindu.
All over India.
So there is no way from going away from our agenda. Our agenda is Hindutva.
They are the younger brother. And they have been aligned with forces which go for appeasement of the Muslim community only to form the government. They have done this only to form the government and be in power. They have aligned with non-secular forces. We have not done that anywhere all over India. And as a Hindutva, we are there.
The Shiv Sena has aligned with non-secular forces. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
And the BJP is aligned with secular forces.
All
right.
You see, appeasement of a particular section
So,
of society
the-
is done.
All
by
right.
them.
The BJP
1 second, Mr. Hegde, go ahead. Yeah.
The BJP spokesperson has again said that MNS has lost its way. So if MNS has lost its way, I don't know why they are prompting the MNS to take up the loudspeaker issue. Secondly,
Who is
they are
prompting
telling us
them?
that we are
What proof have
appeasing
you?
Muslims.
What proof have you got
But,
that we are?
but let me tell you, let me complete. I did not interrupt you, Mr. Vats. So when they go to Kashmir and they tie up with Mehbooba Mufti, the BJP is become very secular. Then they become very nationalistic. But if we tie up with our allies, then we become appeasing a particular community. I must be happy and proud to say here that Shiv Sena is the poster boy of Hindutva. Bala Sahib has always said it. Uddhav ji has always said it. We don't want any lessons from BJP on Hindutva. And what I must tell you here is that to win the elections, the BJP is playing these games. There are 15 municipal corporation elections and Nagar Panchayat elections and local body elections in Maharashtra shortly. Also, they want to create a law and order problem. They have understood very clearly that Uddhav ji has been voted the most popular CM in the country, not in one particular poll, but on several polls.
Okay.
His handling of the COVID, the infrastructure development,
Which
what
poll?
Uddhav ji has
All right.
done.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm out of time on this. One brand of Hindutva versus the other brand of Hindutva. Is the timing a coincidence? We'll have to wait and see. I'd like to thank you both very much